today we're going to talk about corn, not corn with a K.
You can make a lot of things out of corn, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, just corn on a cob.
Welcome back to another episode of the Captain Bagrat podcast, where we're on a mission to find boring news about Asia and Australia. It's a tough job, but, someone's got to do it. Liam and I.
We have to do it.
Yeah, we have to do it. God damn it.
We're forced.
Forced to do it. We're forced to do it in Downtown Chinatown.
We are.
Yeah. And today we're going to talk about corn, not corn with a K.
Although I do like corn with a K.
Heavy metal corn.
I'm a fan. Do you like...
I may have heard a few of their songs.
You've heard a few, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming not a huge fan.
Maybe no, heavy metal's not my thing. I think it's more your thing because you said you were in a band once, right?
Yeah, a few times.
Yeah.
I like metal, I guess. I sort of like to branch out to all genres.
So is that why we're doing corn today?
No.
No. Oh.
I don't know why. Well, I mean,
why did you pick corn?
You told me that I picked it, and I actually forgot that was it really me?
Yeah, you kept on saying corn.
Yeah,
I was like,
I
okay.
think because we've done some other staple foods.
Potatoes.
We've done potatoes and noodles. Some other random topics, like we did dolphins. Yeah.
That's not a staple food, but anyway.
Not yet.
or koala. Well, with your startup.
They were all jokes. Disclaimer. No, but it's another staple food. I think we did potatoes, and that was fun to research potatoes because we found out a lot.
A lot about.
If you haven't listened to it, it's a bit of a longer episode, but pretty interesting, I thought, and the noodles as well.
Yeah.
Really, really.
I learned
cool.
a lot, actually.
Yeah, I learned a lot. I never knew so much about. Anyway, so I thought we may as well do another staple food, and I thought, well. I mean, not so much in Australia, but overseas, especially America, corn is massive. So yeah, I thought it was just a...
And Asians love to eat corn because I remember going to McDonald's in China and they were serving lots of corn. I'm like, well, this doesn't happen in Australia.
As in just corn on the cob?
Corn as in corn salads, corn this and corn that.
I mean, I've had corn in a salad here, obviously. It's pretty popular.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not... corn isn't unpopular.
But not McDonald's.
Yeah, I don't understand where you have it. Oh, I do know, actually. They have in KFC in China. I know their salad has corn in it.
Yeah. But also in McDonald's salads.
I never had McDonald's when I was in China.
Yeah, well, for some odd reason, corn is on the menu. So I think it's just Asians, they just love to eat corn for some reason.
Well, corn on the cob is pretty typical snack.
I love it.
That's cool that you can just go anywhere. I remember being in the middle of winter, so there's a big lake, and you're going to the Summer Palace in Beijing, big landmark, big lake, and then the Summer Palace behind it, and there's a back train station. You can walk around the lake. It's really beautiful. Yeah. Did that in winter, and it's freezing. The whole lake's frozen, and it's ice everywhere.
And you got some corn.
You can there's just a little snack stand, and they sell in the summer they sell ice creams because it's really hot. In the winter they sell hot dogs. No, not really hot dogs, it's just sausage on a stick. If you've been to China you would have seen this, and they sell corn, just fresh corn
and the
on
sweet
a
potato,
cob.
right?
They didn't have sweet potato there because they didn't have to have a coal burner for it, and they don't do it there. But just corn on a cob, awesome snack, and you just walk around in, especially on a freezing cold day. Yeah,
I love corn on a cob when it's being sort of charred on the gas stove or on a barbecue, and then you serve it with a bit of smoky paprika mayo across the top, and then
butter.
sprinkle butter. Yeah.
So
salty butter though.
Yeah. What's your favorite corn dish?
Oh my god, that one. Plus, I got two more.
Okay.
All right. The way I make chicken and sweet corn soup.
Okay.
Yeah. So not the stuff that you can get from, your usual Chinese restaurants.
Yeah.
But the way I make it fresh, and it's got corn kernels, it's got corn flour to make it thick, but also it has cream of corn to give that extra consistency.
It's a corn trifecta.
It is corny of you to say that.
Wow. Okay. And chicken, obviously.
And chicken, and lots of coriander, spring onion, ginger.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And then the chicken, obviously, you can buy cheap chicken necks from any supermarket. Okay. Yeah, usually $2 for a whole bag.
I've always done it with just a chicken breast.
Oh no, because you need the bones for the flavor.
Make the stock. Yeah, but I'm lazy.
No, it's easy to make the stock.
Yeah, but I'm still like,
You
it
just
takes
you
time.
just keep it. You don't have to put all the corn in there. You just put water, ginger, garlic, and spring onion.
Yeah, and you let it
just
stew for a
let it
while,
stew.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't made it.
Or slow cook or
I haven't
whatever.
made it in Australia.
Yeah,
I made it when I was living overseas.
Well, when it comes to winter, I'll make some and I'll bring into the office
please,
for everyone.
Please do.
Yeah. And then my second one is popcorn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, but I have a story behind it, but I don't want to talk about it yet. What's your favorite? Popcorn
my
or corn
favorite
dishes?
is. Do you know what a honey joy is?
No.
Okay.
Is it joyful?
It's like an Australian thing.
Mm.
You might not have seen one. Oh, you probably have seen one before. I mean, you grew up here.
No, I didn't.
I mean, what are you talking about? They're like, well, they're not actually. Well, they're made with corn. They're made with corn flakes, and they're like, it's an Australian. As far as I can ascertain, it's just an Australian thing. You know how we have like what's the thing called with hundreds and thousands on it?
Bread?
No, like fairy bread. Sorry. Just had a brain melter for a second. Fairy bread.
Yeah.
It's like a very Australian thing, and
Yes.
people overseas. Yeah, well, these things are the same. They're called honey joys. So you get cornflakes, and you like just mix honey and flour into it, and then make it into like a little flat cup, and then sometimes they.
Is it like a muffin cupcake cup?
Not quite. It's more like a little bowl, I guess. Would be more. Like and actually, some people just make flat ones.
Yeah.
But then you can also put like some people put chocolate on top of them as well, and then let them set like melted chocolate, and it like goes into that little cup, and like so there's like all cornflakes held together with honey and chocolate. It's amazing.
I think I've had this.
They're called honey. You probably have.
I probably have. I just didn't know the technical name for it.
Yeah, they're called honey joys. I think the recipe came out on a like I think it's World War II recipe because people were trying to make stuff out of what they already had.
Yeah.
And cornflakes were in like massive
staple for breakfast.
Like you could just get them anywhere. So I think you remember on the back of your cornflakes box you could get recipes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever looked at those. But
and that's so easy to make, and it's like a snack. That's like having a muesli bar, but a corn bar.
My dad used to make them all the time, and they were the best.
Yeah.
Speaking of cornflakes, do you know why cornflakes were invented?
Why?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
It's a pretty good answer as well.
It was
by Mr. Kellogg. Like
Mr. Kellogg. Actual Mr. Kellogg himself.
Mr. Kellogg, yeah.
Okay. Let me think hard about this one. Okay. So why would he invent cornflakes? Because it was during the Depression and other stuff were more expensive?
No.
Okay, you go.
Okay. Well, the man who created cornflakes, Mr. Kellogg,
yes,
produced a cereal in the late 19th century and marketed it as a healthy, ready-to-eat, anti-masturbatory morning meal.
Anti what?
Masturbatory.
As in, is this what I think I'm hearing?
Yeah, exactly, right. So the idea behind cornflakes is they're a bland breakfast.
Yes.
Like a really bland breakfast, but still nutritionally healthy for you.
Yes.
Meant to replace eating meat and stuff. But it's meant to, the idea is because they're so bland, they're meant to stop you from self-enjoyment.
Self-pleasure.
Yeah. I'm not joking. Like that's actually a legitimate quote. So he was, I think, Seventh-day Adventist, like the religion, right?
Which is also the mother of Chopper Reed.
Really?
Yeah, she was also a Seventh Adventist.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So they're vegetarian, and also they think that that's wrong and sex is wrong and etc. etc.
Therefore, have some cornflakes.
He was a Seventh-day Adventist, and he was a physician, right? So sort of like a doctor back then, but not really.
I know how to cure your problem, young boy.
But yeah, he believed in celibacy and that sex was unhealthy and immoral and all those fun Christian things.
Even with your own wife?
Yeah. No, he actually he never. Well, allegedly, I don't know who can prove this, but apparently him and his wife just adopted kids. Not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Per se.
Some kids need to be adopted.
Yeah,
yes.
of course, right? Not going to criticize them for that, but apparently never consummated their marriage, to put it politely.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
that's
why he invented cornflakes, because he believed that it's vegetarian because
it's made out of corn.
Yeah, that's right, and Seventh-day Adventists are vegetables. But the main reason was that it's bland, and that the idea was that it would stop you from seeking enjoyment from other things. Anyway.
All right, so I'll tell my story now. I think it's very...
Is this your popcorn story?
Yes, my popcorn story. Good. It's like completely... I don't even know what scale it's on. So when I was little, living in China, I had... You know how when you're small, you only have memories of like things that are really extreme?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my mother took me to this place. I think we may have gone and watched a movie. So she bought me some popcorn. So as a child, obviously, I was like, oh, popcorn. And this is like, communist China back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And so it's like, popcorn. It's such a treat. So I was like, munching it all up.
Were you at the movies or just in?
It could have been at the movies. It could have been.
Okay.
I really don't remember.
Right.
That's irrelevant.
Okay.
But the relevant part was, next thing you know, my stomach started bloating up. It bloated to the point it was so painful. My mom was on a bike. I was on the back of the bike, and she was riding me to the hospital.
Really?
Because my stomach had to, either the popcorn had not popped entirely and it was popping inside of me, or maybe some. Huh?
Okay.
I'm making stuff up.
Okay,
now. Yeah, or there was something that they put in there that had a reaction within me.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
that's probably.
I think that's but I don't know because I can't remember the rest of the story.
Oh.
But I just remember being in so much pain, like my entire stomach was bloated and it was hard and it hurt so much, and then I had to go to the hospital, and then I forgot from there.
Have you ever asked your mum what happened? That's a real interesting. I mean, maybe you should leave it.
Maybe I should just leave it as that. I don't think I want to know why.
Happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
So maybe.
But you still like popcorn now. You said it's like your
I still love popcorn.
Three.
I love salted caramel popcorn. It's one of my favorite.
Do you go to the movies and just eat all the popcorn before the movie starts?
No, I have fear because of that incident.
Oh, okay.
But
so you don't eat too much.
I don't eat too much.
You're an ethical popcorn.
I try to be ethical.
Ethical? No.
However, if somebody else has a box of popcorn, and then they eat it and they seem fine, and I will eat it.
Okay, I'm not a fan of popcorn. Yeah,
okay.
This always seems to get people, but I really don't enjoy eating it that much. Like I like the salted butter popcorn.
Yeah.
But I think at some point when I was younger in like primary school, growing up in Australia, a lot of people would have popcorn. It was like a pretty common primary school snack. You get like these plastic bags. It was one brand.
And it was remember the name. Soggy.
Yeah, it's a bit soggy stuff. And then there was also the rainbow. Do you remember
rainbow popcorn?
I remember the rainbow one.
Yeah.
But we never had it ever. Like my parents were like, no. Not that it's bad for you. Actually, popcorn is pretty good for you.
It is really healthy.
It's actually really healthy.
In comparison to other things,
Apart from the
butter and the
salt and the sugar, the literal sugar, it's quite good for you.
It is.
But my parents were like, no, it's not good for you, or they just, for whatever reason, didn't get it for us. So I think they got
more protein than your usual corn.
It has a bit, yeah.
A bit more.
So we never ate it much. Like we'd have it occasionally at home. Yeah. We had, I think we at one point, like friends of ours had a popcorn maker, and we would have popcorn. And we
There's
still
microwave popcorn.
Yeah, and we used to have microwave popcorn at home. Like my parents weren't against it, but we just never had it at school. Yeah. So I think I don't know now, especially now that I don't really go for a lot of sweet foods. I'm sort of like,
well, fine. Can I give you some popcorn facts?
Yeah, go. I've got some of my own. So
cool. Okay. Let's do like a popcorn off.
Okay.
So, popcorn was conceived in Peru.
Conceived.
Okay,
well, I mean, technically not wrong.
All right.
Okay, yeah, good.
In Peru as early as 4,700 BC. So that's before Christ. That's 4,700 years before Christ.
Yeah. So like more than 7,000 years, or
so if you add that plus 2,000,
nearly 7,000 years. Nearly 7,000 years.
Yes, nearly 7,000 years.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I've got one on the back of that.
Okay.
So there's actually a type of animal that just evolved because of the human domestication of just normal corn.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So corn, like you said, corn came out of Peru and then spread across the world. And now you actually can't find it in the wild. Like you could not find what we call corn today.
Why?
So what we call corn today is actually we're saying the wrong word, right?
It's maize, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Or maize.
Maize, whatever.
Yeah. We should be. Every other country in the world calls it maize except for Australia and America and the UK. But technically, corn refers to like the family, like a huge family, and maize is actually what we're eating. So if you go anywhere else in the world, what you're looking for is I mean, it's the same as like eggplant. Everyone calls it aubergine, and we're like
coriander.
Do you know why it's called eggplant, by the way?
Huh?
Do you know why it's called eggplant, by the way?
I don't know.
Okay, it's because it looks like an egg, and like the first stage of its development.
Oh, only the first stage of its development.
Well, you remember when we talked about like potatoes and they're related to cherry tomatoes, and they have it's like imagine a cherry tomato but white.
But white.
That's what an eggplant looks like before it goes purple. That's why it's called an eggplant.
Such
it looks
a transition
like an
point.
egg. And then, okay, sorry, that's a bit of a tangent.
Let's go back to corn.
Back to corn, right? So there's a moth, which is called the European corn borer in English, but actually it came from South America. But it's a moth that's just grown up with corn. So since corn has been domesticated, this moth has evolved really rapidly, like in like 6,000 years. So it originally existed, but small numbers around Peru where the native corn you could find it. But now you can't find corn in the wild anymore because it's been changed by humans so much. Like it's a domestic,
genetically modified.
Well,
yeah,
not necessarily genetically modified, but modified by humans over the course of 6,000 years. Like we selectively bred it. Yeah, exactly the same. So now this moth has grown with it, and now it's like one of the biggest pests to do with that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Did you know that a popcorn kernel can pop up to 3 feet in the air, which is about 1 meter?
No.
That's massive.
Never really
1 meter.
It's pretty high.
Considering how small a kernel can be.
I guess because you never get to see, because usually it's in the microwave.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, unless you're lucky enough to have a mini popcorn machine.
Yeah.
Not that popular anymore, I don't think.
Yes, I was very surprised.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Do you want another one?
1 acre of corn.
Yes.
Eliminates 8 tons of carbon dioxide from the air.
I did have that fact.
Yeah. It's one of the highest numbers that you can get in terms of like growth speed and stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool that they're talking about. I mean, in America, it's 40% of the world's corn is grown in the United States. But they're talking about moving more to Australia because we grow a little bit.
But we don't grow a lot. We grow rice and cotton. And
yeah, we grow
what is going on?
The most water
rigorous.
Yeah. Anyway.
So backing off that one, I actually did some maths. All right, so for all you maths freaks out there and agents who love to excel in maths,
racist
stereotype, I know. So it takes 91 gallons of water to produce 1 pound of corn. So 1 pound of corn is about, in the Australian system, is about 0.54 kilos.
Okay. Half a kilo of corn.
Yeah, nearly half a kilo of corn.
So 90 gallons.
91 gallons.
I'm just like, around.
Yeah. So there's two types of measurements. There's the US version and then there's the UK and Australian version.
Right.
So 91 gallons in the US version is about 344 litres.
Okay. Right.
Yep.
That's a lot. Okay.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's still for half a kilogram. Half a kilo.
Half a kilo of corn, produced corn. But if we use the UK Australian system of gallons, that's about 413 litres for half a kilo.
That's a huge amount of water.
Yeah. But in comparison to cotton, as we all know, cotton takes a lot of water.
Yeah, huge amount of water to grow.
So cotton is also quite light. So if you're thinking about quantity-wise, to make 1 kilo of cotton, you need about 22,500 litres of water.
Wow, that's
about 30 times more than what you need for rice. I mean, not rice.
Corn.
Corn. Yeah, and for rice, it's about 3,000 to 5,000 litres for 1 kilo of rice.
That's insane.
Which is 6 times more than what you need for corn.
And it's quite an issue because we grow like a lot of rice and cotton in Australia.
I'm like, what's going on, people? We should be growing corn.
It's a big issue at the moment out west in Australia.
Yeah.
I mean, my parents are from out west and I've been out there a fair few times and like they're talking about, just a lack of water and it's being taken up by the cotton farmers.
I was like, why are we doing cotton when it takes up 30 times more than corn?
Got to agree with you. I mean,
anyway, that was my fact.
Well, it's
calculations.
It's a good fact. I haven't looked into the numbers myself, apart from the tons of carbon thing, which is
a little bit harder to try and calculate.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe we should just be growing more corn. But can you make clothes out of it? I don't know.
I'm sure you can.
Well, you can make a lot of things out of corn, actually.
Yeah.
I wrote down a list of things that we eat out of it.
Yeah.
So corn is processed and used in a major component of foods like cereals, obviously cornflakes, stuff like that. It's also used in peanut butter.
Yes, I found that too.
Potato chips, soups, marshmallows, ice cream, baby food, cooking oil, margarine, mayonnaise, salad dressing, and chewing gum.
I've got artificial silk, shoe polish, erasers, soap, glue, plastic, penicillin, polenta, soft drinks.
Yeah.
Candles.
Candles?
Oh, sorry, candies.
Oh. I mean, it probably could be used for candles as well. Why not? Well,
and batteries, apparently.
Yeah. Well, they're looking into, I mean, at the moment we use it as it's a major source of ethanol, which people add to fuel at the moment. So when you buy E10, it means ethanol, like 10% ethanol. And also we can just use, your car can just run on straight ethanol as well, but it has to be converted. Yeah. And it doesn't work quite as well as petrol. Like it's not, I don't think it ever will necessarily. It's just that it works as well. Yeah. Right. Just slightly less efficient.
For now.
Well, I mean, until we develop, hopefully we have just all electric cars at some point in the future. But it can also be used as an electric generator. So at the moment, all of the biomass, so what happens is we eat the corn, obviously, when we grow it. But then you have all this stuff called biomass, which is like all the leaves and stuff, which is left over. Right. There's actually it's like a test at the moment in America, but they've got a little power station operating, and all they do is like burn that biomass. It burns really well. They capture the gas from it and recycle that. So you don't actually, it's not like using it or anything like that. It's not like polluting and things like that. Obviously eat the corn, but they're burning it and using it as in a steam generator to generate just straight electricity.
That's fantastic.
And apparently it's really, really efficient because they're doing it already. Like they're already growing it. And like I said, America grows a huge amount. So,
and just as amazing is the fact that you can make plastic out of corn.
That too, yeah.
So, for all you wonderful listeners who order HelloFresh, like I do, cool, to supplement my Western meal sometimes, so I don't have to go to the shop, Woolworths or Coles to get my own food. Like they pack everything and send it out to me. But the sachets which they put the ice blocks to keep your meat.
I've seen it before.
Yeah, to keep your meat cold. So that sachet is made out of biodegradable corn.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, I did not know that.
I know. I was so surprised. Because when I got the box, I'm like, that's a lot of stuff that I have to recycle. And then when I opened it, I was like, thank you. It's biodegradable.
Fully biodegradable.
Plastic corn.
Good on them. Well, I mean, I know they were under fire originally, I think, when they first launched. Because everything
plastic.
Was individually wrapped in plastic,
But there's still a lot of plastic in each particular meal.
Okay.
So I don't know how they're going to resolve that. But the fact that, the frozen stuff, the stuff that needs to be kept cold, at least that's in that.
Yeah, well, it's a start. I mean, and that's the whole point, right? Like, it's making a start.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they also use it. And this is one of the weird things that, and one of the reasons I wanted to do this episode, is they use it to make corn syrup or glucose or high fructose corn syrup as people know it in America, because the sugar industry in America isn't huge, right?
No.
For whatever reason. So now if you go to America and if you've ever had American Coke or Coca-Cola, like the drink, you'll notice it tastes different.
Compared to Australia's?
Yeah, it tastes... I've had it, and but it's sweeter. It's hard to describe. You have to go try it. If you ever see imported American stuff, try it and compare it to Australian stuff, because we just use sugar, like actual sugar, whereas they use this high fructose corn syrup. But there's a lot of studies and stuff showing that it's
not good for you.
Really terrible for you because it's a really complex sugar.
Yeah.
It's not like basic sugar that we get. Like we have a huge sugarcane industry. If you've ever driven around Brisbane, there's like sugarcane farms everywhere. Bundaberg rum, it's all built on that sugar, right?
That's right, sugarcane.
But
rum.
Yeah, exactly. But in America, almost every soft drink is sweetened with this high fructose corn syrup for a variety of, socio-political reasons. I just thought that was interesting that there can be such a difference in what we... It's sort of like a basic taste, right? It's something, and I mean, I know like we shouldn't be like, just like all these big companies, and we shouldn't be like, oh yeah, everyone knows what Coke tastes like. But I mean, everyone knows what Coke tastes like. But then you go to a different country, well, one country in particular, and it tastes completely different. I think that's really interesting.
I know. Actually, a few of my friends who went to America, they call the first year 10 kilo, where they just put on 10 kilos.
Well, exactly.
Because they're just not used to the corn syrup.
Exactly.
In everything.
It is literally like high fructose corn syrup, like that is in everything there, like in bread, like
literally everything. Like there's 3,500 uses of corn.
I know.
And so bourbon, American bourbon.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't.
Jack Daniels and stuff
complain.
like that.
I can't complain at that.
That's really nice.
I like
actually.
bourbon. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that.
It goes really well.
It does.
Here, I got a tongue twister for you.
Okay.
So, when corn shoots are growing, they build this powerful antibiotic substance to defend itself from a range of like pests such as insects and fungi and bacteria. So I'm going to try and attempt to say this.
Okay.
There's a shortened version abbreviation of it, but I am going to try my very best.
Good luck. Wait, the name of the
powerful antibiotic.
Okay.
It is called 2,4 dihydroxy -7 -methoxy -4,4 benzoaxine -3 -1. Short for Dimboa.
Dimbo.
DIMBOA.
Definitely shorter. I know how they come up with it, but damn, that's a very long. Doesn't really tell you. Maybe it does tell you something.
It probably does tell you something.
I'm sure someone could.
Yeah, but I just thought the name Dimboa was pretty awesome. At the end.
Get some Dimboa in you. So does that stay when you eat corn? Like if you just eat corn, do you get that antibiotic stuff, or is it on the leaves and things?
I don't know.
Okay.
Apparently, it's a natural defense, and then so if there's some sort of mutation in the corn gene,
right,
then it doesn't have it, and so the disease that might be related. Actually, there's a disease that the Mexicans eat.
What?
Yeah. So.
What?
Yeah. So this is what I found. It's called corn schmut, SMUT.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
So it's a disease that it's caused in the kernels.
Okay.
So it causes the kernel, individual kernels to mutate, and it ends up being like a mushroom.
What?
So it grows into a fungi, and the Mexicans actually harvest that.
That sounds awesome.
I know, and they serve it in to tortillas, the enchiladas. They make it into
I want to try it now.
The salads.
That sounds cool.
It is.
Because I love mushrooms.
Yeah, it's a staple.
Yeah. Oh my god, I've never heard of that.
I know.
Can we get it in Australia?
Yeah, the actual delicacy, the name it's called, I can't even say it, but it's HUITLACOCHE.
Okay. Is that like the name of the fungus or something?
Yeah, the name of the fungus. But a lot of the Mexican farmers, they actually grab the fungus and they spread the spore.
Just so they can get more of it.
More of it, yeah.
That's so cool.
I know. And they call this stuff maize fungus.
Maize fungus.
Maize fungus. Okay. But I'm going to rename it. I'm going to give it something like Bradgelina kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it corn fungi and call it corngy.
Corngy. I'm not sure if I want to eat corngy.
Corngy.
Get some corngy on your
fork.
Get
some corngy into you.
But it sounds, what I'm picturing.
It's like a mushroom.
It's like I'm picturing a corn on the cob, and then it's just little mushrooms all over it, and then eating
big
that.
Mushrooms.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah. So it's like.
Sorry if you don't like. I know there's a big group of people that don't like mushrooms. So sorry of that. Just put a terrible picture in your mind of just thousands of tiny mushrooms on the corn cob.
Yeah. So it's like these are like delicious. Big chunky mushrooms. So I'm guessing the texture would be kind of rich.
Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of like an oyster mushroom.
I want one.
I know.
I want to try it.
But look, I'm gonna go have one more thing before we finish off to your thing. So this kind of disease is not the first of its kind where humans can actually consume it and go, oh my god, this byproduct is really awesome. You know how on grapes, wine, when you make wine grapes, there's a particular disease.
I'm familiar with it.
with grapes and wines.
I've been to some wineries.
So there's a particular disease called botrytis, right?
Okay.
You get your botrytis wine, which ends up being your dessert wine. So there's two types, and one is the grey rot, which you don't want, but you want the noble rot.
The noble rot?
Yeah, so with the noble rot, apparently it's you can find it in Rutherglen in Australia, in sort of like Victoria/New South Wales area. So what happens is that grapes is in like a cool climate, so it rots, but then it gets a lot of water or some sort of wetness, and then somehow the grape itself gets shriveled up. And then all the concentration of the glucose and all the other particles ends up being it's like a dried sultana in a way.
Okay.
And then they harvest it and fermentate it, and it ends up being the most delicious dessert wine ever.
Awesome. I want to. I think I have tried it before.
Rutherglen, all the way.
Yeah, I've had some before, but I didn't know that it came from
a disease.
Okay.
by
I don't
accident.
have any. I got 2 more little facts.
Okay, go.
Maize is a type of grass.
Yes, I know about that.
It's just a type of grass.
Yeah.
And the other one is that originally, when America was being colonized, like the Northern America,
Yes.
it was used as a currency. So obviously it's really easy to grow there because they've just got perfect conditions for it, not as dry as like Australia or anything like that. But when they were hunting and trading and stuff, they would just use it as like a currency. Like you would trade, because there was no like coinage or anything across the state. Well, there was some coinage, but they're still discovering the whole continent and moving in. So they would just trade corn husks because you could store it for a long time, right? You can just break it off, and it's got like its protective system, and you can just take it with you and trade it for like furs and other foods and things like that. And it's quite energy. It's quite nutritious. It's actually one of the most energy dense staple foods. It's like 1,500 kilojoules per whatever it is, 100 grams or something. So yeah.
So that's pretty awesome. Just like some islands use shells as currency as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like why not use corn?
Yeah.
I've got like a little one as well.
Okay,
another one. I forgot about this one. They count. You can count the number of days that it takes to grow corn. So so DNA, right? Like the code that makes things grow. Everything. In the DNA of corn, like its genetic code, it's like a hard-coded number of days that it needs to flower to actually produce a flower. And then once it's produced a flower, then the seeds of the flower are actually what you're eating, right? The corn kernels. Yeah. But there's a set number of days over 10 degrees Celsius, exactly 10 degrees Celsius. So to grow corn successfully, you have to grow it in an environment where, and it takes a year to grow, like it's an annual crop or most of a year to grow, but it has to get X amount of days over 10 degrees Celsius or else it won't grow. So you can
sensitive.
But like every type of corn is slightly different. Yeah. But for that type of corn, like you could literally go one less day and it won't flower.
No wonder a lot of the corn that we know is genetically modified.
Exactly.
To make sure that they grow.
Exactly. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I got one more.
Okay.
The world record for eating the most corn kernels with a cocktail stick is what?
With a like a toothpick thing, right?
Yeah, with a toothpick over, let's say.
What do you mean? Like they like
1 minute.
What do you mean they like stick it in? It's like in a plate. They're already like cut off. It's on a plate already.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so the corn kernels are there, and it's on a plate, and then you have to use your
a little
your
toothpick to eat them.
Yeah. So I guess how many this guy ate in 1 minute?
1 minute.
1 minute.
100.
Close. 80.
80.
Yeah, that's
even
not bad.
That's more than one a second.
Exactly. Yeah. And do you know where this guy's from? Where he's actually from? A very famous potato that's copyrighted.
Iowa?
Idaho.
Oh yeah. I was like,
that's why I picked it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good on him.
Yeah. So his act was to promote STEM education.
What?
So he had a purpose to do this.
What does it have to do with?
I think he was trying to teach the kids, this is about science, and then as a little fun thing, that he would try and eat as many corn kernels.
80 corn kernels in a minute with a stick, then one day you will be talked about on Madam Chen's podcast.
That's right, absolutely. But then he also kicked ass on the same thing that he was doing over 3 minutes, and he did 241 corn kernels.
So he can keep it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's like one more than he could have. That's like he's still doing 80 a minute.
Yeah. And so being a little bit off track, then I started researching about how many people ate dumplings.
Okay.
And this is something that I think, Liam, you and we can beat. Yeah. So at the moment in the Guinness Book of Records, there's one guy from Canada who is apparently in the Guinness Book of Records for eating only 10 dumplings in 1 minute. One at a time.
10.
I think we can kick his ass.
I reckon I could be. I mean, we're saying this very confidently.
Oh, yeah. We can do it.
Whether or not we could... surely you could just, like, swallow them.
Exactly.
Like, you can... Because people swallow, like
hot dogs and stuff.
Yeah, like, and pool balls and all sorts of stuff. Surely you just get one of those guys.
Exactly.
And just be like, swallow this plate.
I know. So all here was pork dumplings. So I'm sure you and
1 minute.
10 in 1 minute. We can kick that ass.
I'd give it a shot, maybe.
I think we should. We should practice first.
I'd need some practice, yeah.
Yeah, we'll practice first, and I'll contact the Guinness Book of Records.
And they can't be too hot.
No, they'll be a bit cold.
You need to make sure. Okay, yeah, let's do it. Let's...
Excellent. That's all I have.
Good.
Taking ourselves on a challenge.
That's a good place to finish.
Are you up for it?
I'm up for it.
Excellent.
Let's go.
Sidekicks in action.
Yeah.
And that's it for our corn.
That's it for corn.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, it's time for us to rock and roll because everyone else is waving at us. Bagrat out. Hey, thanks for listening to this week's podcast. For the latest updates and posts, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you love it as much as Captain Bagrat and I do, please support us on Patreon, where we hope that our dream of having our own TV show will become a reality one day. So then we can continue to fight boring news on everything, anything, and nothing with an Asian twist. Thanks for your support. Bagrat out. Solid.